I'm stormbound in the island of Aero in Denmark, and for want of anything better to do, I've been looking through my photo cards and seeing what's on them, stuff that I photographed and recorded back there in Sweden a month or two ago. I came across a little bit of video that I thought you might really enjoy seeing. 2 years ago I posted a vid about navigating in Swedish waters and showing you how close you got to the rocks and how very different it was from the stuff that those of us who sail in Western Europe generally experience. Well, if anything absolutely hammers home that point, this is it. You've got to see it, really. It's amazing. And I'm going to show you first the pilot book, which led me into this tiny little hole that I'm going to show you. It was the best anchorage. I can't show you the anchorage itself because I haven't got a video of it. I didn't take one because I wasn't really expecting to post anything about this. But we had a lovely night in there, Ros and I. Beautifully quiet, no bugs, no problems. Lovely. We watched the sun go down around midnight and it crawled up again. It's very close to Sandhamn, this place. And Sandhamn is a great yachting centre. It's the sort of Cowes of Sweden. And the place is humming. It's wall-to-wall boats and people drinking and having a good time and making a lot of noise. Nice place, but sometimes you want to get away from it. We discovered this little anchorage helped by the pilot book, and I'm going to show you the pilot book now and you can see where it is to get into. It looks really hairy, and to be honest, the first time you ever do it, you can't believe it's going to happen, but it does. And I'm going to show you the video after this of us coming out again. So what you're going to see now is the pilot book, and I'll talk a bit about that, and then it'll all go quiet and I'll show you the video, which I didn't commentate on. There's just a video that's coming out, and then I'll have a few words and bid you a good afternoon and hope the wind goes down because I need to get out of here tomorrow. Right, here we go. Okay, here we are. Here's the pilot book. The chart, which is behind it, really doesn't have enough information on it. You'd have to know what you were doing to go in on the chart. But the pilot book is really useful. And this is the anchorage in here. You could get into it that way, but there's a rock in there that's 2.2 metres. I draw 2.15, so I don't fancy my chances with that, because even though the Baltic's got no tides, it does go up and down a bit, and there are no tide tables, so you're never absolutely sure what you've got. So you've got to look after yourself, so that's a chance I'm not prepared to take. But this dotted line here comes in here, and it's indicating more than 6 metres here, 4 metres in this little narrow gap, and in this one here, which is the one we have to go through, it says there's 3 metres, there's 3 in brackets. Well, that's good enough for me. I'll have to be very, very careful, just in case there's a big variation in depth. I'll go through really slowly, but it should be okay. And then again in here, it opens out, and this whole thing is about 100 yards across, absolute maximum. So this gap here is really only 2 boats wide, 2 boats widths wide, maybe 25 feet at the very most. And my keel is just going to slide through there, through a little gap. Well, we've had our anchorage, we've had a nice night on the hook, we've had our breakfast, and now we're coming out. And Ros is on the bow, which is where she always is when we're going through these sort of places. This time we know the way, so she doesn't have to look too hard, but she's been peering down into it and she's taken a video. If she was doing it for the first time, she'd be pointing to me to which way the rocks were, which side the rocks were, because the water's crystal clear, you can see down into it. So, well, here we go. Well, what do you think of that? Makes a change, doesn't it, from beating down the Solent on a Sunday afternoon on a sunny day, or blasting up the Blackwater perhaps in a Thames barge with 2 feet under the keel in a rising tide and water of the consistency of green pea soup. You know, the great thing about being a sailor is that you never get bored, because the sea is a place of infinite variety.